Hello everyone, Russell Wright from networkempireandthemezoom.com. Good morning, and I want to express my appreciation for those of you who have shown up this morning in various time zones. I know some of you it's earlier than others, and want to wish you all well. We have pretty much the entire team on this kickoff webinar for Online Business Technical Foundation Level 2. You guys have made it, and some of you who have taken Level 1 know why we had to segregate and kind of have levels of certification. It's literally hundreds of hours to become fully educated to build a socially activated, semantically integrated one web ring perpetual downstream traffic and domain authority stacking system. And whoever can say that twice really, really fast wins a booby prize. Actually, not a booby prize. You're going to win in life, because this is a sustainable system that will last for the next, we're predicting upwards of 5 years. Just so you guys already know, we are futurists. We don't mess around. We put a lot of time and energy into thinking about what's coming. And the technical level Foundation 1 is all about the WR1 silo creation with Matt and myself and Sue. And this is the traffic and kickstarting massive traffic and conversion course. This opening or kickoff webinar, we're going to talk about what to expect. We're going to tell you what we're going to tell you. We're going to take questions. We're going to find out a little bit about each one of you, because that's what the group and team perpetual mastermind and coaching systems are all about. We want to know who's with us. A lot of you we already know, because this is a stackable course, and that's part of the advantages of getting to know everybody. So let me get a 1 from all of you. Tawny, I can see that you're already here. Did I pronounce your name right? Is it Tony or Tawny from Europe? I've been talking to you the last. Did I pronounce that right? I love it. I asked how to spell his name, and he puts the same spelling of his name in, as if I can hear the Denmark enunciation. Okay. Okay, so there's, I'm saying, I guess I did it right at Tawny. There's Scott's here. Michael, it's good to see you. Okay, good. Tawny's confirmed that. Michael Durr, it's good to see you. Certified Advisor, 2014, with us today. Michael Durr spent a lot of time with us at the live certification event this year. I consider him to be an online business expert at this point. He probably would be a little modest about that, but he's run successful online book exchange business and many other things, 15K plus. Looks like Jonathan's here, Jonathan Monk. We have different levels of folks here, and it doesn't matter. It's really, really good to see you. Now, the good news is that in this kickoff we have Sue Bell here. She is the Network Empire Theme Zoom software architect. As you guys know, in my marketing, I talk about her as a military-level programmer, and people say, where is he getting that? Well, no, she was a military-level programmer, an architect. Actually, she was an architect, a software coordinator for lots of people, the U.S. Army in Europe. So she's going to be going through cracking the whip a little bit. As all of you probably known us for a while, she's a little bit on the dangerous side, so proceed with caution. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. She's going to be presenting to you. Matt DeCruz is here, as you know. Matt was Level 1 Certification SEO Foundation. He's currently in South Africa, so we hold the webinars at 11 o'clock when he's on, 11 a.m. Phoenix time. Allows him to not have to stay up till 4 in the morning. Matt is the co-inventor of the DWS NE Silo Empire blog builder, which is in rolling development. He's a huge part of the development of that, the major ideas. He's also I call him Mr. ROI. You can read all about him and his interview that I gave him on Tech Foundation 1 if you haven't already. First things first, want to let you guys know that when you ask questions in the question box in the webinar, we are here to answer them. You might get answers from various folks here. And also, yeah, with Matt DeCruz, he's a badass with ROI conversion. It was very important that we pulled him into this certification layer because of the conversion. We needed the entire team, because this is where Sue Bell's real passion and focus kind of comes out. She's got a lot of those, but the PKMM, this is the brainchild that Sue and I have had since 2006, actually. Later when Matt arrived on the team, called this a perpetual keyword money machine. Lots of things have changed. You guys will be the first to gain access to the prototype that we have in development over the next few months, which is a plug-in SaaS system, correct, Sue?
Yep.
That's something I'm really excited about, so I'm just throwing this out there while we're waiting for other people to come in. We also have Jimmy Kelley on this call. Jimmy has been a very busy man the last few weeks. We have the various other level certification courses, specifically the Panda Penguin course, which we got about 200% to 300% more interest than we expected in that course, which tells a lot about what's going on in the search engine and a lot of what's going on in people's ranking lives. Jimmy will be a huge part. You can see the various courses and layouts. And so that's basically the main thing that we have here. Again, this is a perpetual mastermind rollout, folks, where if for some reason you do not gain access to a course or you're late or something happens, you can jump into the next event when we have it. Currently, this Tech Level 2 Foundation training is the only one scheduled for this year until Sue gives us another word about when we could fit one in at the end of the year. We may not because we're moving on to Level 3 and 4. But you have any questions on that, please do let me know. We have a Skype room for Level 2. It's Level 2 only. It's just you guys and gals. All you need to do is contact me on ThemeZoom, and I will drag you into the Level 2 Online Business Tech Foundation, where we will stay with topics specific to this realm. And so that's that. With no further ado, if you guys have any questions, just type them in. We're going to go ahead and get started with our kind of introduction presentation, and then we'll do the whole getting to know you process. All right. Thank you, Sue, for being here. Much appreciated.
Oh, thanks, Russell. This is exciting. The new courses we have are always exciting, but I am in particularly fond of this one because you've reached your first level, right? You've got your money site in place. It doesn't matter whether or not you came through Tech Foundation 1 and you have a siloed site, or if you just have a money site and you're looking to get more out of it, this is the course for you. So, Russ just went through the team. There's me. I am Chief Mischief Maker and Woodcracker. Matt DeCruz, Mr. ROI, who will be your coach also for this course. There's Russell with his brilliant neuromarketing. He will be a guest lecturer 2 or 3 weeks out of this course. And
spelled my name wrong. No, I'm totally kidding, Sue.
You're so bad. There's Jimmy Kelley, Mr. SEO. He will also be a guest lecturer for a couple of weeks. And Kevin, who will be kibitzing around the edges. He's so much more than semantic. He's also top-notch in security and does a lot of our analytics and just all around. Like, if you need to know something, Kevin is the person who probably knows it. So let's talk about this course. Prerequisites, what you're going to need. You need a money site. As I said, it doesn't have to be a silo site. You just need a money site. And you need a desire for more traffic and sales. Give me a 1 if you got a desire for more traffic and sales, and a 2 if you don't really care whether or not you make any more sales by the end of this course. All right.
Wow, look at all those 2s. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about anything. All right, we're going to close this call down, folks. We got a lot of 1s. Okay, actually, every one of you should be a 1. Otherwise, you're out here. Just kidding. That's good. Good.
All right, so I got a few questions for you guys. Give me a 1 if you've got a money site, and a 2 if you've wandered into this course without one yet.
That's a good question.
That's going to be a really important point. Sort of. Okay.
Well, Michael, are you going to use your business? I mean, I know you have a website. Okay. You have 63. Okay. Anybody who does not have a money site, Joe has one you can borrow.
You can lease it.
All right, good. So pretty much everybody's got a site. And yeah, so I would say if you're in that sort of category, there were a couple of people that typed in sort of or 1-2, then like if it's like where you're needing to decide which site you're going to use, make that decision this week. And if you just kind of have a site, then you might want to get with Matt and see what you need to do to make it what you need so that you're going to be able to have the most out of this course. Because I'll talk about what we're going to do here in a minute, but you'll see why you need to to have something that's, because these courses are hands-on courses, right? So we actually expect you to do the stuff that we teach during the 7 or 8 week period that we've got here.
Or else.
So, exactly, or I crack the whip, right? Like, there are no choices here. So,
Yeah, that's not fun.
no fun. So what do you guys want to achieve out of this course? I'm curious to know. We'll implement a survey in the future, but right now in this webby, I'd like for you guys to just give me a quick one-liner about what's the most important thing that you want out of this course. World domination. Excellent, Joseph. All right. These guys have been watching my videos.
Hey, I can't repeat that one, though. Okay. Sorry, we can't help you with that one. Just kidding.
Excellent. Retire young. I like that. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Getting off your addiction to PBNs. So that's a fascinating thing.
Don't say, you can't say that.
Why not?
I'm kidding.
I didn't use any names.
Got addicts in here.
So that's an interesting thing. So what we're going to do in this course, I mean, there's two aspects that you've got for when you're, when you're past that point of actually having your money site in place and you're looking for more traffic and rankings. You can achieve traffic and rankings without PBNs, at least up to a point. And when I say PBNs, I'm using the concept of a network as well as like the more traditional PBNs. There's going to be a point in your competition. If so long as you're in a niche, you're great. Small to medium-sized niches, you're great. If you're going to do something that's really super competitive, I don't know that you're going to get around needing either a network or a PBN, what we call PBBNs, right? So just that thought there. I don't know how competitive your niches are or how competitive your markets are, but just kind of keep that in mind. So, unless of course you talk to Jimmy, he'll tell you all you ever need is one link. All right. So
and I have it.
Right. So my next question is, I'm curious to know the level of marketing that you guys are at. Would you guys give me a 1 if you're making less than $1,000 a month online, a 2 if you're between $1,000 and $10,000, and a 3 if you're over $10,000? Interesting. All right. Excellent. We've got all sorts in here.
Okay, now we're going to read all of your income levels out loud. Just kidding. We wouldn't do that, guys. That's, what the thing to remember here is that this is a check for us to get to know you. We will be more intimate with those kinds of ideas one-on-one. So this is not a judgment. It's not your qualification. And if you don't feel comfortable revealing that, that's also good. I see a couple of you didn't. We just want to get a general idea of, where the blind spots are, if there are any. And as we go through the event, we'll be able to talk to you, and the training we'll be able to talk to you more. As Michael Durr probably remembers, who's a certified advisor, 2014. On one of the days, we talked about your actual business processes, your operations. We go way beyond just internet and silo structures and SEO. We go into what's actually, what's your business model. So this is just a little precursor to that.
Yeah. And it helps us kind of tweak the course down a little bit if we were slanted all one way or another. But
right.
We've got a pretty good selection, a pretty good cross-section of everybody. So.
Yeah.
So good. All right. So what to expect out of this course? So each webinar is going to have 2 parts. We're going to have theory and practice. So we're going to have like a slideshow, and then we're going to actually show you what it is. So when we talk about the one feed, we do an advanced one feed in this course. In Tech Foundation 1, we did a really simple one feed. And if you want to look back at what that one feed was, if you weren't in Tech Foundation 1, we've also got that in the members area. I've put a few links already here in week 1, and I'll put the link to the one feed stuff in there as well. So we take it to the next level in this course. We're going to show you one feed with DAS, and we're actually going to walk through what you need to do so that you can turn right around from that webinar and actually go implement it on your site. So that's why I'm saying you need to pick the site that you want to work on with this course, and it needs to be ready to promote because we're going to actually get your hands dirty and do it. All right. So then, if you've got any questions while you're going through the work for that week, you can ask them in the Skype form, because if you've got that question, probably everybody's got that question. Or if it's something that you don't feel comfortable discussing openly, then you can request a one-on-one consult. Or if it's something that's more intricate than what can be handled in a Skype conversation. So let's talk for a minute about course overview. These modules aren't laid out in the same order that we're going to go through them. I wanted to kind of give you more of an idea of what I was thinking of, why we put the course together the way we did. So we've got 2 topics that we're talking about during the course of this next 8 weeks. We've got content modules, where we've got blog content and content curation. We're going to talk about headline optimization and how that can help you grab more traffic. And we're going to deal with writer's block. And then the other thing that we're dealing with is ranking and traffic modules. So we're going to talk about the differences between different kinds of links, right? Like what are good links and what are bad links. And
see, what's wrong with my grandmother's Google?
Oh my goodness.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Let's just say your grandmother didn't have any problem ranking in Google.
I know, right?
So easy anymore.
What?
And we're going to talk in terms of ranking and traffic, we're going to talk about the RSS1 feed. We're going to talk about RSS in a little bit more detail than we covered in the first course, get a little bit more into the technical side of things. And then we're going to also give you an introduction to domain authority stacking and implementing a better one feed with the domain authority stack. So I think that was the only thing I had. Oh, one more. Good. Traffic. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about actually tracking what's going on. So as you go through this course, as we get to the end of it, you'll have a lot of links. You'll have a lot of traffic coming from a lot of different sources, and you're going to need to know what's working and what's not working. This is probably the most valuable thing that you can do, because you can throw a lot of money at all the other stuff on this page, creating content and getting it ranked and doing all this stuff, and it can be as outsourced and as automated as possible, but it still costs you time/money, right? So when you've got good tracking and you can take a look and see what's working and what's not working, then you can spend more time in the what's working and less time in the what's not working, right? That whole 80-20 rule that seems to apply to just about everything. What percentages have taken the DAS course? That would be interesting. I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head. Somebody just asked what the crossover rate compared to the DAS course was.
If you've taken the domain authority stacking course, please give me a 1. I'm just kind of curious.
There you go. And a 2 if you haven't.
Looks like almost everybody. Wow, yeah, that's everybody.
Oh.
Oh, no, there's one person that does not.
Okay.
I guess we'll just have to bust out some more tricks, huh?
Yeah.
I guess so. Well, the other thing is we didn't actually walk through the implementation. We talked about it in theory.
Yes. Yeah.
So how many of you guys would like to see us actually walk through it and understand? Give me a 1 if you want to see us walk through how to implement it, and a 2 if you got it fine and you don't need to do that. All right, so everybody's doing this at once.
I guess we're going to walk them through one.
I guess so. All right, so, and then the whole traffic thing. All right, so we're going to approach traffic from, I have to say, this is one of the modules that I get really excited about. So you're going to be able to see, and we're in the middle of developing the PKMM module, which you guys are going to get access to as soon as it's available. And that is our new PKMM module, which shows you it's going to take your links and track all the way from the beginning, like from your social media sites, or if you're following on with the certification level courses and you're building out your WR2 and WR3 rings, then you can track in from those rings as well. You can see all of your traffic, how it comes through into your funnel, and what actually converts. So like that for me is the most important thing, even so it's taken us a long time to actually get this coded, because then you can see exactly the pain points that are your biggest converters. So there's two concepts there, right? One is how well have you expressed the pain point? In other words, how painful have you made that? How is your market responding to the way that you've expressed that pain? And the other one is like what is actually converting. So you can take a look at the things that aren't converting and see if you want to tweak that language out a little bit. You can look at the platforms that aren't driving converting traffic, and you can tend to ignore that more, and you can spend more time and money focused on the things that are actually bringing you time. All right, so let's talk for a minute about content curation. Quality content, that's going to be everybody's biggest pain, right? Give me a 1 if like getting quality content on your blog, writing regularly is your biggest pain in the butt. And 2 if you got a handle on it. All right, so we've got like 2 people out of the entire course that have got a handle on that. Good. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to minimize that pain. And we covered painkiller content in Tech Foundation 1. And over here in week 1, I've got the links to that. This is the links over to the members area where we've got a little discussion about it in a couple of different docs. And this is the template. So if you guys weren't in Tech Foundation 1, if you haven't seen that in the members area, those are direct links to that. So this is going above and beyond that. What we're going to cover are ways that you can quickly create content that you can then turn over to your outsourcers to finish. We want to cut down on the amount of time it takes for you to write a blog post, and I think it's on another slide. I also talk about how your outsourcers can even manage to do some of that for you. The next thing we're going to talk about is headline optimization. This is another place where Russell really shines.
I don't shine.
Okay. What do you do then if you don't shine?
I don't have a comeback for that one.
All right.
He glows.
I glow. I implode.
So having painkiller content is great, but if you don't have a headline that draws the click, you're out of luck. And I can't tell you what an art and a skill it is to be able to write a good headline. It gets emails open. It gets people to click on your bookmarks and on your tweets and everywhere. Everywhere your content goes, you're spending all the time to write the content, quality content, original content. But if you don't have a good headline on it, you might as well not have written the content. So having hung out with Russ for the last many years, almost a decade now, I can say that that is a skill. It's like I have to go into a completely different place in my head from where I usually am to begin to come up with a mediocre headline. So it is a skill, but he has tricks that he can show you that will, certain keywords, a way to approach an audience, how to address the pain, that he's going to spend a couple hours talking to you about, and then how to test to improve your headlines. I've got a couple of tricks that I can show you that I've actually run through that helped me understand in a particular market how to express the pain better. So all of that stuff we'll talk about in the week for headline optimization. The next thing is writer's block. Right? How many of you guys have sat at an empty screen for like 45 minutes trying to figure out what the heck you can write about? You got, particularly if like you're given a keyword, right? And you got to write about this keyword, and you've already done 5 blog posts on this keyword in the last 3 months. I'm like, how the heck are you going to write more content about this, right? Give me 1 if you can feel that pain and would like answers to that. All right, good. So we've got some solutions for that coming. So links. How many of you guys know that a link isn't a link isn't a link? Give me a 1 if you know that, and a 2 if you're still under the delusion that, Google doesn't pay any attention to what the qualities of links are. Okay, good. So give me a 1 if you have a pretty good idea about what makes a good link and versus what makes a bad link, and a 2 if you don't have a good idea about that. Oh, this is a pretty sharp crowd. Jimmy, you might have your work cut out for you.
No, not me.
All right. That's interesting. Okay, good. So a lot of people feel pretty solid about that. All right, so let me ask you another question. Give me a 1 if you know how many links it's going to take to rank for something, and 2 if you don't have a clue. It depends. There's a good answer.
That's my answer. You can't use that. That's the only answer. Unless it's 46 or 42.
All right. Well, we can give you some ideas about how to think about what it's going to take to rank at least. We're going to talk about good versus bad neighborhoods, which it sounds like a lot of you guys have got a pretty good handle on. And dilution links, so that you don't end up with filters and penalties. We talked about that a lot in the. How many folks in here took the traffic hospital course? Give me a 1 if you took it, and a 2 if you did not. All right, good. So it's about 50% of the class took it. 50% did not. All right, good. So we'll talk a little bit about things like dilution links. And follow versus no follow. How many people, give me a 1 if you think you have to do follow links to get your site ranked. And a 2 if you think that that's not the case.
Are these trick questions?
All right. Interesting. All right, so follow versus no follow. Jimmy, can you rank a site with no follow links? With only no follow links?
Yes. Yes, you can.
All right. Just to give you an idea of some of the surprises that are coming.
Jimmy, can you rank a site with 1 no-follow link?
That depends.
All right, domain authority stacking. Did we ask them if they already were in the domain authority stacking course?
Yes, we did.
All right, good.
We already took a poll on that.
That's what I thought. So, but you guys are happy with us covering domain authority stacking because we're actually going to show you how to do it, right? We're going to walk you through how to do some of these things. But I won't go over what it is since most nearly everybody knows. Give me a 1 if you guys know what RSS is, and a 2 if that's still an elusive concept to you. Oh, this is clearly the advanced class. Awesome. So we won't talk about what it is, but we will talk a bit about how to harness it, how to automate it, and how to take it to the next level by integrating DAS with it.
Let me ask you guys a question since we're here, Sue. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys just type in like maybe a one-word or one-word phrase about RSS and one feed? I've talked to a few of you, like what's fuzzy for you or what you're most hoping to get out around that topic. Take your time for a minute here. We'll just give you like 60 seconds. Some single phrase, like for instance, dupe content issues on one feed is very common. You know, isn't it dupe content? Well, when you do this, this, and this. Yeah, how to set up is another one that Scott just gave us. Okay, visibility of setup, that's a good example. Anybody else have some you could toss in for us? We just want to make sure. We're covering all of it, so I want to make sure. Scalability, Brian Hessler, good. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting about feeds, I'm not going to say they're infinitely scalable, but it's highly scalable when you know what you're doing. That's one of the, I think, one of the original hot topics that Jimmy and Sue and I kind of started off our relationship a couple years ago, or was it a year ago, a year and a half, something like that. So that's a really big, scalability is a big one. Footprint patterns and applied to multiple sites. That's huge, and so we'll talk a little bit about that stuff as well. Okay, that's good. You guys have given us good ideas. Okay, thank you.
Good. All right, so traffic sources, and sales tracking. I talked about this a lot at the beginning because I'm excited about it. But so we use UTM codes, and the way in which you use UTM codes allows you to see both in Google Analytics and in PWIC. We're going to cover both of those. How to see where your traffic's coming, and then when it comes to the PKMM module, we can really explode that and give you some awesome reports. So we'll walk you through how to set up your links using UTM codes and how to look at the results so that you understand what's going on. We've also got a couple of pieces of software that we're going to show you, third-party software. I'm going to try and find one that's a little bit less expensive than our favorite one, and that can help you get an idea of what your penetration is in social media platforms, because that's with what we've been doing in the network recently. I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on with MoneySite, but all of the WRT sites also have social media associated with them, and the more networks you have, the larger the number of social media platforms, the more difficult it becomes, for me at least, to be able to keep a handle on what's going on. So so we're going to talk about how you can get a view on what's happening on third-party platforms. And then finally, understanding the pain. So it's interesting to me that Google took away keywords, I think it was about a year ago at this point. Started taking them out of Google Analytics, and now I think they're completely gone. And and the uproar that arose in the SEO community because it was gone. Because I was like, you know, I mean, it's interesting to know which keywords people are arriving on your site for, but that's not really the driving factor, right? It's not. I mean, I have to agree with Google. People are too keyword centric. If you step back from it and you look at a keyword as representing a pain, which is why we're all about themes, right? Themes are a set of related keywords that express that pain. Then, you know, your page, the page on your site, if you've got a silo structure site, or if you were at least thinking in terms of themes when you created your WR1 site, that page represents a particular theme, and so all of the keywords are going to be focused around that theme. Now, it's nice to know which keywords you're ranking for, but you can still get rank results from third-party tools without any problem. It's really like the traffic. So in Google Analytics, you can see the traffic that's coming to any one particular page, and you know that that page is about that particular pain. So you can still derive everything you need to know about the traffic that's coming to your sites. You just got to think about it a little bit differently. Got to get out of that granular keyword mindset. So we're going to talk about all of that and how you can step back and understand better the market perspective. So I want to actually use this course to start to shift you, even though it's still a technical course. I want to start shifting you more away from the technical and over into the concepts of marketing, where you're looking at things a bit differently. So that's why Russ is
shining.
Got a lot more. Yeah, he's glowing, right?
I'm shining.
Got a lot more input in this course, so that you move more into a marketing perspective. You're thinking more about how your potential clients and customers are looking for you and wanting to interact with you, because I guarantee you they're not thinking about keywords, right? They're thinking about pains, they're thinking about products, they're thinking in that thematically oriented arena rather than in keywords. All right.
How to money make online more, long tail. That's how I think about it. That's what goes through my head. every day. Proximity based. I'm a machine. Never know.
Outsourcing. So let me ask you guys one more question. How many of you guys use outsourcers, have a good handle on how to outsource what you need to do, and how many of you, give me a 1 on that, and a 2 if you would like to be able to outsource better.
Ooh, we hit a hot button.
Excellent.
Yes. You have a, okay, there is some of you who are outsourcing fluently. Okay. Let me ask you this, can I drill into that question a bit, Sue?
Yeah, sure.
Can you guys give me a 1 if you're outsourcing mostly technical, and a 2 if you're outsourcing mostly copywriting and marketing? Maybe that's too much of an either or. Maybe I should survey them differently than that.
We have mostly 2, so mostly these guys are not outsourcing.
Yeah, I can see that. I was just looking at these couple of guys. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Well, there's got to be a different way to gather that information. I'm just wondering if any of you are outsourcing highly technical things like linking or virtual backlinking or GSA from Jimmy's course or anything like that. Yeah, it looks like, Jimmy, there's a couple of people, and Sue, there's a couple of people looking for technical outsourcing. Wow. Yeah, this is really great. Okay, good. So that gives us an idea. Everybody in this room is more or less interested in getting a handle on some of the...
Finders keepers.
Yeah.
So Joe asked, what about in-house employees? And we probably wouldn't get too much into that, just because I think if you have employees, you're probably handling them well. And for me, the way that I look at my business, it's when you have a severe ramp-up period, then you need short-term help, that you got to have outsourcers, right? Because you don't know until you actually grow comfortably into that new level, and you can sustain it, and then you can hire people on if you want to. But if you, we don't have any employees, just simply because mostly we don't. I mean, we do a few networks for other people, but mostly we do our own stuff, and so we oscillate between writing software and building networks. So when we need to do one or the other, we only need that person for a few months. Typically, we have some outsourcers that we keep around all the time because we have enough work. But
and when it comes to the course distinction on outsourcing, really what you guys need to know is the process map. So I don't feel like there's a huge need to make a to delineate between an outsourcer. I mean, there would be, obviously. There's certain things about the outsourcing that you won't need to deal with, like, because you have the person in-house. But, I do have a couple of things to say about the employee mindset, but we can wait till we get to that module. Yeah. But yeah, it's mostly the same, guys. What we're really trying to depart is if you've got somebody else who you can run through these processes, things that they need to know, how do you effectively execute that? What Jimmy, Sue, Matt, and I have discovered in terms of not making any assumptions about what they do or don't know, how to not how to have your outsourcers not blow up the world on accident. It's that kind of stuff.
Right.
Kablooey. Whoops. You GSA'd the what?
Yeah, best practices on finding, training, and monitoring. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
It's like thanks for thanks for making those 2,000 Twitter accounts, and now they're gone the next day. Wow, you should have X.
Right.
Yeah,
communication
that kind of stuff.
Is key.
Communication. So we'll get into that. A lot of it's very human interaction, not make any assumptions. And I want to just say one last thing here, Sue. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
Okay.
The outsourcing universe. I learned this from Sue. Via she's had a lot more experience with that when we started working together. There's a lot of hype around outsourcing, and we have different huge, over the last 4 or 5 years, you've had a lot of launches around replacemyself.com and these types of things, and we know all these guys. It's not a huge community. It can be really, really misleading. That the main thing that Jimmy, I know, will hugely contribute, Sue, of course, hugely contribute, and Matt and I will be talking about a few other things in that, is that there's certain things that we find that people are outsourcing a lot of the wrong things. And then on top of it, they're outsourcing it in the wrong way. So that's one. I'm kind of excited about that because it was a huge discovery for me, and I like to share errors and thinking, to save you guys time. And so we'll get our heads together on that stuff. Thanks, Sue.
Definitely. I'm realizing I have images that I didn't use. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. There's some of the things that I've learned that I'll just share for a really quick second here is understand, like, when you come across somebody that's gold, you want to find a way to keep them on retainers to bind them to your hip as much as possible.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of those that we work closely with, and we find a way to give them enough work that they don't go looking elsewhere. But we've also got a huge amount of stuff that we just outsource regularly to whatever resources available at the time. But those are two completely different kinds of tasks. So we've got a couple of people that, they're closer to us. They've actually learned our processes, the ones that we repeat that are intricate. And then you've got all kinds of people. This is where, like, understanding the limitations and understanding the scope of what it is that you need to do, and being able to segregate those kinds of concepts into two different groups of outsourcers. And the other, I would say that one of the main faux pas that people have when it comes to outsourcing is that they try to outsource something that they don't know how to do 100% themselves. So if you haven't actually gone through it and done it, and you're completely comfortable with doing it so that you can explain it well to your outsourcer, you're not going to get the result that you're looking for. So just let me talk on that. All right, so back to the overview. What about coaching? So this is a coaching course, and there's two different ways that we've got coaching going on. The Skype forum, which we talked about earlier. Theme Zoom is Russell's handle on Skype. You can contact him and tell him to add you to the course. And then we've got a time trade link for one-on-ones, which I need to get from Matt so we can throw it in the course, and you guys can hit him up when you need him. Because this is the first course, I don't know how much one-on-one time we're going to need. I can't imagine that it's going to be the same level of intensity as what we had with Tech Foundation 1, which I think, wasn't that like 3 hours per person, Matt?
It was, yeah. Yeah, well, that was what was allowed, and some people use more, some people use less.
Yeah.
Depending upon needs.
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing like an hour or two. And I'm thinking that the nature of what we're doing in this course, a lot of the questions are going to be able to be handled in Skype. So, so anyway, the first course is always like, we're working the kinks out and we're finding out what's going on. So, so there'll be a little bit of play in that. To contact Matt Skype, he's, what does the GBase stand for again, Matt?
It's just my hometown, Java MDC, Jeffreys Bay.
Jeffreys Bay. That sounds like a beautiful place.
That is.
You'll never find Matt surfing.
No, not at all.
All right. So that's the end of the presentation for today. Today's just kind of a get-together and find out what's going on and where we're at, which I feel pretty good about, knowing where you guys are at and what you're looking for. Any questions or comments at this point?
Okay. Go ahead and this webinar will obviously be uploaded to your members area, and I have to make a comment that we're going to be doing in every video. I normally do it at the beginning, but since this one will be probably more open for you guys, we have a zero tolerance for data theft, which includes sharing this material outside of anything that's pre-approved by our organization. You can see the audio with Kevin Polly, who is digital theft expert, literally. And it's my job to say that at the beginning of every webinar. The reason we do this is to protect your assets, which is our information, and your relationship with us is a huge asset and becoming more of one every day. The advanced perpetual mastermind systems are not viral marketing through black hat forums. We don't allow it. And we've had success in dealing with this, and we just want to make you guys aware in advance so that there's no embarrassing situations, either on purpose or on accident, where this information is getting out to people who are not participating. Also, we want you to have a very high value for this information. We have worked with people in our organization over the last 7 years who were work-at-home dads and moms that now run successful agencies. We're making 10K plus. Doesn't sound like that much to some of you, but that's a lot for somebody who is working at home or had a part-time job driving pizzas around. So we're successful for people who are serious getting through the certification program. All of these are part of the stackable certification system that we have for Network Empire that ultimately allows you to incorporate any skills that you already have, but learn how to build our socially activated, semantically integrated one web ring perpetual downstream domain authority stacking system. So it's all about SEO, it's all about traffic and conversion, and we value this information, so please take very good care of this. We do have a question here. People are asking for homework assignments, and people are asking for how will this apply to my local SEO agency. Okay.
That's a great question, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's answer Joe's first.
So I can see this applying two different ways. One is you can apply it personally to your own website to drive more traffic and get more conversions, but also all of these concepts you're going to be able to apply to your clients' sites. So you're going to be able to provide more traffic and conversions for all of them as well. I see this course as being a key course for both guys who just have their own sites as well as agencies.
Yes. Okay, good. Now, as for your homework assignment, the main thing that I want to make sure that you guys have, now there's not a huge rush on this, is that a ready list of your, if you've worked on the WR1 website, I don't know if Sue's put this in the members area just yet. If you've worked on the WR1 website, I need you to have that available to us. And ultimately what we'll be doing is creating a question, like some of the questions that were asked you in the webinar, we'll formalize a little bit better. And so that'll allow us, so when we have that conversation. So that'll be something that'll come up. Jonathan Monk is asking that. The other thing is, if you have quite a few sites, please start collecting your RSS feeds. Those of you who've taken the WR1 course, you will already know how to do that. But you really should have, how many of you have your RSS feeds on a spreadsheet and pretty much know where they are by heart, like by rote? You guys know where your RSS feeds are? If you have any, and this is you don't have to have them. I just want to take a look at that. Look at Jonathan; he's rip-roaring ready to go.
Are you?
Give me a homework.
You talking about the RSS feeds for your your YouTube and your Storify and?
Well, what I'm really curious about is obviously we can show them. Yeah, we can show them how to build. Storify doesn't have an RSS feed, but I'm actually just looking at, some of these guys will actually have these WRS, platforms, and some of them won't.
Right. Well, yeah, correct. So if they've been through
Tech One,
through the Tech One, they'll have some. And we have here in week 4, we're going to talk about content distribution, and so we're going to get into a much longer list of third-party platforms, and we'll also talk about which one of those platforms have got RSS in and RSS out. So then you can take advantage of what we're talking about with RSS and the DAS RSS and take that to an HNL, whole nother level, right? With those advanced content distribution concepts.
Right. So primary homework assignment is to make sure that you're in Skype with me today after this call, and we will announce any other tasks that we have for you this week in there. So stay tuned to that. And that's pretty much it for right now. Go ahead and start organizing your RSS feeds.
Exactly. Next week we're going to talk about content, so there's not too much to actually have to prep for.
Right. So we're going to get the time trades together. We're going to get to know each one of you. There is a question system that I'd like to have from you guys that Sue and I are putting together. Probably, I'm not going to actually commit to a time on that because I haven't talked to Sue fully about it. Cody just jumped right on the webinar. But you can expect that. Get your RSS feeds together, get in Skype, and then we'll get you all organized for this upcoming week. Does that give me a 1 if that makes sense to you, and 2 if you have further questions? Okay, excellent. We're going to start the dialogues with you guys individually now. Looks like everybody's good. All right, so this has been the Tech Foundation kickoff webinar, and we will be seeing you guys on the inside, and I'm really, really pleased that you guys are the first batch to go through this training course. I will process this particular video. I don't imagine that the kickoff webinar is going to be hugely of focus for you guys, but I will post the replay anyways. The upcoming weeks will also be recorded, and some of those are going to be so task specific that you're probably going to want to replay some of those.
Yeah.
So, okay, you have anything else to add, Jimmy Kelley? You have anything else to add, Matt DeCruz?
Yeah, I'm really excited today.
No, I don't have anything.
You don't have anything? Just give us that one link, Jimmy. That's all they really want.
Yeah.
You get the training.
The one link to rule them all?
Yes. Yeah. The perfect link. Here it is. Bring it down from the Mount Sinai. Okay. So you guys, we are going to check off. I'll see you guys in the Skype room in just a minute. Thanks, y'all. And this is going to be really, really a ton of fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.